Hi, I'm Tim Harding. I'm a textile artist and I'm here at Groveland Gallery to talk about my show, Double Vision Stereoscopic Textiles. This series came out of an evolution of my work in textiles. My interest has always been to work with layering and cutting and seeing through layers, and this is a new direction for me. Everything that's in the gallery now is done in the last 18 months, and this photo montage series that I'm showing is something I've been working on for about 10 years, but it hasn't quite taken on this configuration until very recently. The early work, there's a through line to this work, and that is conceptually in terms of seeing through layers. So the early work was layers of silk cut through, reveal colors from layers underneath the surface. This is very similar concept in terms of imagery and then having a layer on top that you can see through. So the materials are all textiles, and I want to show you how this particular series got started. So most of these are night photography. What triggered this idea was a friend of mine had mentioned a piece of music that I should listen to, and it's called Walking by Flashlight by a Minnesota composer. And I did, but that phrase, that title stuck in my mind, and I do spend some time out at a cabin, and you're out walking the dog after dark and you're walking by flashlight. As you're moving around, the shadows are dancing, and you never know if there might be a bear behind the tree over there or whatever. So you're a little bit on edge, but it's just such an interesting experience. I wanted to capture a little bit of the sensibility of that. So the piece here is called Grassy Path, and I wanted to give a sense of as you're walking down the path towards the beach and the grasses are moving around. So I wanted to take a still object and a relatively flat object and create an illusion of motion and depth. What started off as this walking by flashlight soon evolved into a whole new thing. And so what we have here is like footsteps in the sand and then the beach grasses, and the difference in the color here has to do with the light sources. And the kind of golden light you see here is ambient light from a incandescent porch light, whereas the bluish tones in here are coming from the cool light of an LED flashlight. And so light sources became the very important part of it. So the piece over here called Blue Sand is just footsteps on the beach, and the golden light again is the ambient incandescent porch light, and the blue light was the LED flashlight turned up to its full power. That light is coming from this direction and it's creating shadows, and then the porch light is coming from this direction and then it's creating another set of shadows. And so the piece becomes very abstract, which is a thing that I've always been interested in from my early work through today, and that is the line between representation and abstraction. This one is pretty identifiable, this one not so much, and I'm always looking for that sweet spot about the imagery is there and it's discoverable and it's not so oblique that you can't see it, but it's not obvious right at first. And I think that's part of the compelling nature of this current work. It requires a little bit of engagement by the viewer to figure out what's going on.